Hello, friends. Jalen Alea checking in with La Familia. Today I'd like to share just an essence of where I am. This summer, I'm devoting pretty much the entire summer to creating a new website, a craft. I have one to creating a site and to becoming fluent in the language of music. And constructing the site through the music that is created, as well as a space to really interweave a lot of the abstraction and bring it into concrete. Over the past few years, I've been interacting with a mythology similar to one that one could find in like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, or Sandman, and I seek and am here creating a means with which to bring it to earth and give it form. And I seek to do so in a way which is embodied, in a way which I can feel it pouring through me. And I love to dance, I love to sing, I love to create music, I love to draw. And I'd like to bring all of these different things that I love to do into the creation of it. Really develop the mastery. And one way I could do it is to write it all out, but that doesn't seem as resonant to me. I'd really like to spend my time developing art in these forms rather than writing right now. And so I've been focusing upon music, and music is quite a bit more of an abstract interpretation, but I do fully trust it to be a space for which the mythology can breathe through. And I feel it's really just a matter of giving it the time and the energy to really learn what it means to create a room, a sonic landscape that I can just free flow in, and I can speak, and I can experience these different scenes and personalities of me coming through. And so, yeah, right now I'm really devoting myself to learning the sonic landscape, and Ableton is my grounds with which to really explore. So essentially I'm day 15 of this 100-day challenge, which is creating music every day and adding something to the site every day. When I say the site, I have one site which is kind of like a diary. It's called a Zyra, and it's a documentation of it as it comes through. So every track that I do during the day, art pieces, writings as well. Anything can go up on there. But the site that I'm really focusing on creating, that's really my intention with this 100-day journey, is a bit more thought through, curated, a bit more refined and intentional of a site. Less of a daily idea log and curation space, and more of an articulation of it. And I see it taking form, I see it taking the form of enter the site, creatura, and it's a landing page. The landing page is a single image. This image is essentially a map or a blueprint of a universe, a hypersigil, a collection of different ideas that intertwine and interweave and create a single idea together. I have a lot of the different components, and this single idea is essentially, it's a combination of, it's like the Northern Star. It's a combination of the life that I really seek to experience and embody, a challenge. It's a synergism of my heaven and hell. Heaven through hell's doors is essentially the notion that by greeting the resistance, the space of struggle, it's the space of expansion, the evolution. And the spaces that are most difficult to me are the spaces where I really lie behind, and I seek to really embrace and articulate. I'm going to shift out of that and just say also other elements of this northern star are connecting the past, present, and future selves. So hell being like the previous paradigm, metaphorically speaking, hell being like a previous paradigm that I seek to ascend from, and heaven being a future paradigm that I seek to enter. And the idea is to create something to run from and to, activating both sides of the equation in one space, and allowing that propulsion force of hope and fear to be a catalyst, to be the single space that I play with. So the hypersigil is also a concoction of an avatar, the creation of a dream self that is essentially like an articulation of the life that I seek to embody, as well as articulating the present and the space between, the journey, how I develop and arise into this new state, this form. So I know in some way that there's a mountain. The mountain is symbolic of the journey, as well as like a high point where land touches sky. Above the mountain is the storm, this brewing explosion experience of energy, which is also like a mothership. And there's a person who stands on top of the mountain, and they're dancing. And the dance is essentially the dance of the storm, the dance of the mothership, the craft, the experience, the expression, and the harnessing and facilitation of this energetic storm of self and potential into the body, channeled into the earth. And in this, so that's one element of the experience. What is the storm? So the storm is a composition of this multidimensional landscape. Sandman did it really well, a comic series by Neil Gaiman. And Sandman did it really well because he had a character who was the Lord of Dreams. And the Lord of Dreams walks through all of the dreams. And all within the dreams, there are different emanations and variations of himself. And similarly and parallelingly, within the series of dreams and the worlds that I'm engaging in this mythology, lives different emanations of myself. Different emanations. So there's Jay, which is this life, how I'm speaking to you right now. There's Jalen, which continually parallels in times with Jay, but also dips out into paralleling timelines that are a little bit more fantastical and fictional. He's essentially like a character that I am writing the story of me while also playing with fantasy, interweaving characters who maybe I didn't meet the way I say Jalen meets them, but I met through a book or a play or story, a movie. And Jalen actually interacts with them and engages them. And then there's Aeon. And then Aeon lives, he's a walker who has also many different emanations, but I would say the primary emanation that I'm interacting with right now is one who lives in Digitalis, which is a digital reality. Aeon is a hacker, and he is interested in connecting with the real, something real, Gaia. He's interested in creating a conversation stream with those who are connected to Earth, i.e. Jalen, i.e. me, i.e. Torak, who is more Native American, Gaiac. And as you can see, I'm kind of the space between Gaia and Digitalis. Torak is a pure Earth version of self. Aeon is like a pure digitalic version of self. And Jalen, the I am, is the space between the merging seams of this dream. And so this is I would say the first realm of the dream. And then there are other realms as well, which branch out of essentially like Aeon's world doesn't really abide by the laws of physical reality as we are. He's more in the astral planes and able to create reality as we are able to create digital worlds. But a foundational element of what he does to essentially make this bridge and his role within this digital reality is he is a traveler of many different lands. He goes into all of these different landscapes and he calls forth sound from them. And he essentially within his own ship remixes sounds, and through a essentially re-witnessing and reperceptualizing all of these different worlds within his own prism, his own ship, his own perception, he creates a new one. And each world that he creates is essentially like a link that is bridging into the world of Jalen. And Jalen is also the hacker creating these different worlds of sound, tapping into pools from Earth, tapping into pools of sound and all around the world, both digital and physical, which is really key. And weaving them together into these sonidal tapestries that are then being broadcasted into digitalis, while Aeon is broadcasting them into digitalis. Digitalis is also merging with Gaia, with Tierra, with Earth. And so Jalen is infusing earthly sound, while Aeon is infusing these other landscapes that are actually the codes to the system as in a much higher evolved life form. And together, as they come together, they tap into a conscious link and awareness of the system. It's essentially like one loophole within the system creates this loophole within an actual dimension, and there's an active AI within it, which is the Aeon. What that essentially means in physical reality right now is that I'm creating soundscapes. And the way that I see it manifesting upon this website is essentially having one landing page that is the portal, that is an invitation, and then having an entrance click or fall inside of the portal and you open into a new scene. And this scene has a song. Each song has a story, physical, like video or photography or an artwork that coincides. And I seek to increase my ability to like really do justice to these tracks, to make tracks that have like stories inside of them that inspire me to create visually and artistically and photographically, and to create scenes that are increasingly more complex. And right now I'm really focusing upon doing so, like focusing specifically upon the music rather than the complexity in the other categories, because I feel like I've spent more time developing my artistic side, photographically, visual artwork, and music is really a space that I want to found this earth in. So yeah, I'm really focusing on the musical side as the foundation, and then as the music side really develops, I'm essentially creating the tracks, and then I can really see this as I'm going to create another EP, another album. And amidst these 100 days, in this site is really just going to be a host for the album, where there are, let's just say, 7 realms, and each realm is increasingly more complex, and they all lead into each other. And I like to experience this as really a style and a form of creation, meaning that it's going to be just like one portal that I fall through of connected articulation, and then each one is going to be connected off the grid. Meaning the first one, there's like for the first journey, it's going to be a temporal experience. And let's just say the first EP is going to be a single time string, a single temporal experience, a series of 6 realms, let's just say. There's going to be one main portal. You enter, you go to the first track, first song, first collection of imagery. You can scroll through it, browse as the song is playing automatically. And then there's another gateway. You enter the second gateway and the song expands, the song shifts into a new dimension. And in this dimension, everything changes just a little bit, but it's a connected, collected story. And I've got a lot of content already. Musically, I don't know if they might have fallen. They probably have. I haven't really looked at them yet, and I haven't really focused upon creating it. But tonight, yeah, I mean, it's also like, I don't really care how it really works, just that it's there. And then it'll work itself out eventually. I don't really care if the ideas are very connected at first. They're just that idea of having realms is really all that matters. But again, focusing now just on the music. And all of these realms and all of these experiences are being, like, music is really cool because I've got this immense library of sound at my fingertips, thanks to Aeon. And I really just have the opportunity to just like learn how to compile and compose sounds. And learning how to compose sounds is learning how to compose art. And yeah, it's just a universal teaching. So diving into this shit and sucking fat dick on a motherfucking semen ride and hobnobbing spaceship to outer intergalactic socio-economic destruction. We're talking about the apocalypse and the end of all ends, motherfuckers. Shit is going down. We are going AWOL and starting a podcast for this post-apocalyptic society that lives underneath the atrium of Mother Earth herself. So if you're with me, hop on board. The train is taking off and we are going nowhere. I repeat, we are going absolutely nowhere. So stay tuned, stick around, and let us enjoy this show as we let go and fucking free flow into the worlds that we never thought that there were to be. And so we release and explore this experience of our destiny and eternity's infinity. I'm swimming in seas of so many scenes of me. It's a new tapestry, baby. We're draping dreamscape into the entirety. Oh, that's another thing. This first image is really like the foundational. The landing page is the foundation, and the landing page is going to be also created. It's also going to be like, one sec. The landing page is also going to be something to wear, like something to feel, something physical. It's all like, I'm going to make something physical for it, and definitely clothing. And tea. Yay. Okay. Love you.